Hi, it's Nicole here from Woven and Woolly, and today I want to talk a little bit about saving fabric on your interwoven quilt top. Are you making a bed-size interwoven and now that the pattern is released, you realize that you didn't buy enough fabric? Don't panic. I've got some tips for you to help you reduce yardage on your interwoven quilt top. I want to start by saying thank you to Brittany at Lo Behold Stitchery for releasing the bed-size patterns and letting me help with the writing process. After spending so much time with the bed sizes of this pattern, I've realized that there are a few ways to save fabric. Let me preface by saying the best practice for making a great interwoven is to follow the pattern as it is written. Brittany and I have put a lot of time into writing the instructions for the bed sizes such that they are easy to follow and produce great final quilt tops. That being said, I know some of you, including myself, intend to make bed sizes and did not purchase as much fabric as the pattern for the bed sizes now require. So I decided to share some of my methods to save fabric. Each of my methods is applicable to any size of interwoven and is most useful for the traditional version of the quilt. Let's use a traditional throw size to show some of my methods. The edges of the interwoven quilt are formed by making whole blocks, which are then pieced together into the quilt top, and the edges are trimmed such that only half of the edge block is used. However, there are cases in which a single edge block can be used to make two edge blocks from one full block. For example, if we have a B1 block, we can search to find two halves that go together. For example, this B1 block and this B1 block. And if we cut this B1 block corner to corner like this, we can use this half of the B1 block here and this half of the B1 block here. So now we've been able to make two edge pieces from a single B1 block. In other words, according to the pattern, you would have had to make two B1 blocks, but now you only have to make one. So the total number of B1 blocks is reduced by one. Beware though, there are two ways in which to cut B1 blocks. You can cut in this direction and you can cut in this direction. And these two directions are unique pieces. This piece can't be exchanged for this piece, or this piece, and so on with all of the possible blocks. This is true of the B1 block, the B2 block, the B4 block, and even the B3 block. So we can use that knowledge to look around all of the edges of this quilt and pair any matching blocks. We can go a little bit farther and look at the corners. For example, if we have a B1 block, we can find all of the B1 block corners in the quilt. For example, this quilt has two B1 block corners. So if we cut this B1 block into 4 pieces, corner to corner twice, we can find pieces that will fit. For example, this piece can go here, and this piece can go here. Now, we can follow this process all the way around the quilt and pair all of the matching edges and corners. So that's exactly what I've done, and here are all of the possible matched corners and edges. And we've been able to save 3 B1 blocks and 2 B2 blocks. So with that knowledge, you can calculate how much yardage you've saved, and hopefully you've saved enough yardage that you have enough to make your interwoven quilt top. But if you still don't have enough fabric, we have another method, except that it requires small alterations to the pattern. For example, look at these two unpaired edge pieces. These two pieces weren't paired on the first round because they are cut in a different way. Remember that we can cut B2 blocks in two different ways. Except now, in order to save B2 blocks, we're going to take one B2 block, cut it corner to corner, and we're going to use half of it as stated in the pattern, and the other half we're going to alter so that it looks like this. We can even take this one step farther beyond simply the unpaired edges. You can see here that from our corner B1 block on the first pass, we have 2/4 left. So instead of using a B2 block and a B1 block, we're going to make all of the corners out of a single B1 block, which allows us to save a B2 block. If we complete this process and pair all of the possible edges and corners, we get this final product, where we've saved 4 B1 blocks, 5 B2 blocks, and 1 B4 block, which is an impressive total of 10 blocks saved. So with this knowledge, we can calculate how many blocks we've saved and thus how much yardage we've saved. Hopefully, now you've been able to save enough yardage for your interwoven. In fact, as you increase the size of the quilt, you'll be able to save an increased number of blocks. As there are more edge blocks, the larger the quilt is. However, if you haven't saved enough yardage yet, you can begin by shrinking the quilt by rows like this, or by columns like this. If you'd like more information about how to calculate how much yardage you've saved from the number of blocks that you've reduced, feel free to leave a comment below or email me at wovenandwoolly@gmail.com.